Welcome back, everyone. As I mentioned on the last video, we're going to talk about setting up items and attaching those items to the accounts that we set up in our chart of accounts. So to do that, go to Lists and click on Item List. To create a new item, you can either hit Control-N or right-click and click on New. The three items that we're going to look at over the next few videos are Inventory Part, Inventory Assembly, and Non-Inventory Part. Let's start today with Inventory Part. Before we begin to build one, before you build yours, I suggest watching the next few videos once through and making sure that you understand what we're doing and where we're going. It's a good idea for you to organize this before you start to set them up, and here's why. We're going to start by setting up a heading. So we're going to say, for example, let's use the door manufacturer I used in the last video as the example. You're going to set up an item called raw material wood. Now, depending on your business, if you were a door manufacturer, you may separate it into different kinds of wood, but you may just have one kind of wood, but this is going to be a heading, do not use. The reason I'm putting this is you don't want to use this on purchase orders and sales orders. You're going to use the sub-items under this heading. You can leave this blank. This is going to be our cost of goods sold account. Our income account is going to be our sales account. Now again, here's our asset account. We could click on inventory, but as I said, we're not going to do anything just in inventory. It's always going to be one of these accounts. So we're going to use raw material. In this case, it's not that big a deal because we're never going to use this particular item, but just to get in the habit of using the right account's a good idea. So we click OK. Right click again. Click on New again, click the same type, the inventory part. This time we're going to say what type of wood. So most commonly doors are made out of knotty alder, at least custom doors. Knotty alder. And I'm going to add one thing here. I'm going to put RM for raw material. And I'll tell you why we do that in a minute. Going to make it a sub-item of the wood raw materials. So we'll put the description in here, knotty alder, raw material. In fact, I'm not going to put raw material here. I'll just leave that up in the item name. So knotty alder, and I'm going to put a unit of measurement per foot. Costs us $1.09 per foot. Cost of goods sold account is just cost of goods sold. We could add a preferred vendor here if you want. Our income account, again, is our sales account. This is, as it's pretty obvious with the raw material here, is our raw material. Now here's what else I'm going to have you do. If you have a late enough version of QuickBooks, you can, as long as you're clicked on this here, go up to Edit and click Duplicate Item. If you don't have that feature, you can just go in and recreate it, but it's a lot quicker if you can do that. Come up here, get rid of this DUP word, get rid of the RM and type in WIP for work in process, and then come down here and change this from raw material to work in process. Okay, go that far and you click OK. Now you could set up other headings. You can set up other types of wood obviously underneath this, and over the next few videos we're going to talk about setting up those other two item types I mentioned, inventory assembly and non-inventory part. But for now we're going to stay with this. This is our raw material inventory and also some work in process. Down the road I'll show you how to use those and how to move your inventory from one to the other.